you can't be here. It opens and you feel sort of like, okay, is this the future? He's doing experimentations. Clearly, this is a radioactive environment based off what he's wearing. Is he checking for radioactive elements in the soil? Is he on another planet? And so I have all these thoughts based off the location and the solitude that he's in. And you're seeing that he's communicating his thoughts through this diary VO device. And you get the sense that he's been alone for a while until he gets these visitors. And your thought to me goes to, is this a mirage? Is this his imagination? Are they real? Has this whole facade of him being in this space his imagination? Is he a little off mentally? And so I went through all of these thoughts of what is this? What is this? What is this? And then we see that his mind's playing tricks on him. And then we shift to the actual true reality, which was a very nice surprise that we're not actually in this futuristic, modernized lab at all. In reality, we see that the entire environment was in his head, and that potentially staying in this daydream is more acceptable than a reality. And so I do still get the sense that this could be the end of the world. This could be a man down on his luck that's just having some mental issues, that's living off of the land and a tent. It could be so many things depending on how you look at it. I live in LA, so I have seen people living in dwellings that look very similar to this. It could be just someone who has escaping from reality. And I love that it can be all of those different things. I think that was my favorite part about this, because it's up for interpretation, it's up for debate, which I think it makes a really good film.
You Can't Be Here is a genuinely novel and complex portrait of isolation that also explores the cost of post-apocalyptic futures in a very interesting and unique and personal way that I've not seen before. There are some great visual ways it does this, like the use of super wide aspect ratio, very wide open, desolate landscapes that really visually communicate that sense of crushing, like despairing loneliness. And when we get to the kind of initial twist, that just kind of pull the rug out from under you and really confirms this sense of like a heartbreaking sadness and confusion, and the way that his performance at that point is really emotionally loaded and quite affecting. And then you get to the second twist, and that sense of despair and isolation is just like tripled and magnified, and it really shatters you. Like it's incredibly upsetting without being alienating. It is deeply haunting, very sad, and it's a very clever way of using the idea of like post-apocalyptic worlds. I just think really impressive.
You Can Be Here is quite chilling short, it's a little bit psychedelic, I would say. It gets you, I mean, it tries, the short tries to play with your mind, and you don't really know what the main character, if the main character is living in reality, or if it's just delusional. You don't know if everything is, if you know, you don't know if what we're seeing is real or is just a dream. And I felt the feeling of the loneliness, of the main character. I could really feel it, and this film really reminded me of The Martian. And I think it was a great concept, and it was well developed, because sometimes it's difficult to at times to make a movie interesting just using one character and one location, like everything happens there, and then there are a few supporting characters just coming in and out. But I think this short managed to really pull out an interesting story, which I really loved, and I think in the end it was a high quality production value. Congratulations.
From the title, you get a sense that you aren't supposed to have eyes on the screen. And when we see our lead wearing this hazmat suit, it's bright, it's yellow, it's shining warning, We know nothing good is to come afoot. And he's testing the area. Strips come out red. We can expect nothing good to come from this bleakness from life existence. It's been over 400 days since he's been at it. He's found a clean water source, even though nothing around the area is safe itself. And he has no scientific explanation for this. So he ends up going outside, and 3 people come up, and he is convinced that none of you are real. He states, I watched even one of you die before my very eyes. He falls into distress, realizing that he may have reached a point where he's hallucinating, falling into a madness. He falls into distress, and this is when the world kind of turns to the actuality. He walks out of his tent without the suit on, convinced that he needs help and he needs to go home, to see that the bodies he was talking to are actually mannequins. The tent he's living in looks nothing like the world he's presented us with. He's suffered quite a loss, and he has, in a sense, gotten lost in his fantasies to cope with these outcomes. And it makes you question, is this really a dangerous place? Or is he homeless? Like, is this simply like dangers of the mind?
You can't be here. This was really wild. I think that the filmmakers did such an amazing job in finding these locations and doing the locations justice with the cinematography that they did. So kudos there, first of all. The acting was great. I liked how they built up this mystery where they little by little fed you pieces of the story of what was happening and what was actually going on. And they did a great job in telling the story too. I think the twist at the end was great. I loved the reveal as far as like what was happening, where he's talking to and they turn into the mannequins. I loved that effect. Very, very smart. Yeah, this was really well done.
This ship is for You Can't Be Here. I love this special effects on this location, kind of desertic, that you kind of identify it's somewhere out of our own planet, and the whole suit for hazardous, the sampling and experimenting type setting, that all of that gives the hint of where this person is. And then you have it so cryptic and very engaging as well. It's just mysterious with great performances and a very deep script. They give us they do an amazing job at laying it out so you don't really know who's not supposed to be there. So I really love the mystery. Very cool special effects. I had a great time.